Feel the power.
Oh, I can feel it.
Our moment of triumph approaches. It's
GrokTALK.
3, 2, 1.
We'd like to welcome you to another edition of GrokTALK, brought to you by New Hampshire's leading conservative blog site, GraniteGrok.com. We are your feared, extremist, right-wing, hard-charging, gun-toting, opinionated, outspoken, rabble-rousing, letter-writing, radio microphone stomping conservatives and rational libertarians. So get ready for more news and opinion you could only get from GraniteGrok.com.
Stop it.
What do you mean, stop it?
Rocking.
See,
Back and forth.
I had to do that again because you interrupted. Anyway, welcome back to
GrokTALK.
brought to you by the Coalition of New Hampshire Taxpayers and the bloggers at GraniteGrok.com.
It's Rocking Steve.
And you can check us out on a bunch of places. I didn't write them down, so I can't remember what they are, but they include iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, YouTube, Ustream, iTunes, TuneIn. I gotta remember what they are. There's so many of them.
Goodness.
Blip TV.
Blip TV.
Old stuff.
I don't go to Blip TV. Don't go there. Anyway, do the modern thing, and hopefully someday Google Plus, which I don't know who's on Google
Okay.
Plus. But
All right. We're taking the stuff home again. Hopefully the same thing that happened during Thanksgiving break won't happen again this break. And I'll actually sit and do techie stuff
Yeah, but
again.
you don't have any internet, right?
No, I don't have a phone.
You don't have a phone. Okay.
Internet I got plenty of. I'm
Still?
I'm a Fairpoint customer.
I know, but how could you still not have a phone?
Because
he's a Fairpoint customer.
Because the
They know
technicians.
who he is.
Yeah. That's true. That's probably what it is. He's on the list.
The cell phone
Skip
doesn't work.
Murphy? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, but
he's-
that phone went down a long time ago, right?
Well, yeah.
Are you paying your bill? I wouldn't pay my bill.
I haven't paid for 3 weeks of the bill.
Good.
And I just told MetroCast
Ridiculous.
I got to post this up, but again, when you have competition, you can punish those that don't
Right.
service you well.
Right.
So I called up my MetroCast cable guys and said, I want a phone now, and it's going to be cheaper.
Good.
It's going to be faster,
There you go.
and I get to tell Fairpoint strikers, guess what? You just made your company poorer because
No, it's wrong.
yeah.
It's just
All right,
wrong.
coming up at 10 o'clock, Joe DeLeo will be with us to talk about weather and climate and some stuff like that. And we'll have another guest on the phone who's going to call in, Josh Moore's dad, Ron, who's also into meteorology, and we're going to let those guys go at it and talk about some stuff that we'd be like, what? But anyway, it'll be fun and cool, and we'll have some fun doing that.
Santa Bomb.
And in the final segment, we'll get to the final winner of the WTF moment, which could include NHPR, Drew Klein, Cuba, the roll call rule, Cuba, and everything else that we do normally in the first segment. But right now, we have Guy Kampfeuer and Jane Cormier's joined us, and we are talking about recent
You forgot somebody.
stuff. Oh, Mike. Yeah, hi, Mike. You there?
Hi there. My goodness gracious me.
I am going to need to kick you off line one at the end of this segment, just so you know, because I need both phone lines.
Okay.
Okay. You
Let
can
me
come
know
back.
when I should dial back.
All right, just after 10:30 would be fine.
Ring back.
10:30 our time. And I know you're on the
I can
half
do
hour,
that.
so you'll have to do some math, but that's okay. Anyway, let us proceed. We were talking during the break about messaging, really, basically, and how a lot of people, even people who are just inside the sausage factory, don't know a lot of the finer details, and I can relate to that because when I started doing this, I didn't know a lot of things. You know, now every state's a little different about the way they do things, but there's some things that are pretty consistent. Roll call votes, for example, are when they actually record what the rep votes for, and
Right.
if they're not present, you know,
Unexcused, which means they walked on a vote.
right? And things like that. And the reason we like those things is because, you know, it provides us with transparency. The reason we know RINOs are RINOs is because of roll call votes.
Right.
The reason we know good conservatives are good conservatives and Democrats are Democrats, and the reason the Democrats know these things is because of roll call votes. Transparency is our friend. So we were talking about even just that as an example, using that as a teaching moment to tell people, you know, like I said in my little post about Drew Klein's thing, here's an example why would you not want to know how your legislator is voting to spend your money or to regulate your life? Would you want to know that? Is that something you'd be interested in?
Well, a bigger question is, why does your legislature
That's right.
not want you to
Well,
know?
that's-
Right. Why
what
does your
comes up.
Republican legislator?
Because
Well, any legislator, but in this context,
We're supposed to be all about the little guy, right? I mean, really, truly, the Republicans are about small governance,
Yeah.
right? Accountability, transparency. So why would any Republican promote making a roll call more difficult to do?
And who are the chairs and the vice chairs of the Rules Committee?
all of his chairs and vice chairs.
Well, it's Jasper is the head of it,
Yep.
and good old, isn't it Flanagan?
No, Gene
It's
Chandler.
Gene Chandler.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I got that
Good
mixed
old
up.
boys. Here
Yeah,
we go.
It's all good old boys, and it's, right now with that new roll call system that they put in, what it cost, $600,000.
Yeah, no kidding.
You can see our votes within 5 seconds. So
Yes.
you can be sitting. My wife will be watching at home, and she'll know 5 seconds after the 30 seconds are up, because you get 30 seconds for a roll call, and then the buzzer goes off, and then they post the numbers. They'll know exactly where you're at, and a lot of people are paying attention. And they can't have this. He's got to do payback to the Democrats.
That's right.
And the roll calls beat the Democrats up.
And that's the
because,
message.
Well, it beats the RINOs up.
Right.
And-
No, the
and-
Democrats, yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah, but if
Democrats.
shirtless,
Okay, what
They're
am I saying?
extended family.
right? But
That's a great way to put it. Extended
Democrat
family.
extended family.
remember now, Guy said, and if this is true, I mean, of course, I wasn't there. I don't know if you were, but if Shurtleff was the guy that promoted this, if Shurtleff was the guy in that committee to talk about that 20, then my thought would be absolutely this was the payback. This was one of the paybacks for him getting in.
I don't know if he was in there pushing this. From what I read, he did the dirty work.
Okay.
And it's his payback. Jasper and him, the Democrat elected Speaker Jasper and his Democrat
We love
appointed
that.
minority leader, they're buddies.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't.
Yeah,
their
you're right.
ideology is the same.
Yep.
The only reason why the Democrat elected Speaker Jasper doesn't come out is because he wants to get reelected. He's been there, I think, I don't know how much, 20-something years. He
At
is
least
the
18,
poster
yeah.
child for term limits.
Well,
okay?
here's the other deal. Is he also the poster child along with a bunch of other folks? And Alida Millam would be a prime candidate if she was still there.
No kidding.
A person who ran not just as a Republican, but also ran as a Democrat at the same time for years and years and years. She also, like the Democrat-appointed Speaker Sean Jasper, pulled a Doug Scammon on the Belknap
Yes.
County Committee, where she conspired with the Democrats in the convention, as you guys well know, to become the chair over Steve Nadeau. But that's we could go into a big rat's hole for that.
Well,
But-
hopefully she's gone forever.
And then she, as a Republican, publicly endorsed Democrats in the general
It
election
helped.
against
She was
Republicans.
Literally
nothing but a
helped them, too.
socialist, I
Yeah.
swear.
They just endorse. Helped
Yeah.
out.
And there's Alan Glassman.
Yeah,
You
he's
know,
a good friend.
not only the Belknap County chair, but the area vice chair for the NHGOP. When somebody nominated Alida to be on the state committee, he just politely said, okay, I'll write it down. Didn't even challenge her after what she had done for the Democrats until I put my hand up and forced him on the issue. He, as an elected, responsible, quote-unquote, person, just was going to let her go through.
Yeah.
And so what does that say about the party as far as, I often say, junior partners of the Democrats, junior lackeys of the welfare state, and when you see this happening, what is the low information voter thinking? The Republicans seem to take great umbrage at when somebody says there's not a dime's difference between the two of them, and they go, say lots of words, but your actions speak louder than your words. You must run into this in the legislature all the time.
Well, as far as Glassman goes, it's not worth me asking him, but it's like, why are you a Republican? And secondly, my wife beat him
Oh, yes, I
as
thought this was
delegate, okay? So he was like the only chair, I think, in New Hampshire that wasn't a delegate, okay? So he was just running around like their little lackey with the camera, because that's what he likes to do.
Now, I
ironic.
remember. Now, I posted something because and I was never able to pin this down, but apparently he brought out the Jewish card
I heard.
instead of the race card
I
for
heard.
saying, well, people in New Hampshire hate the Jews. Now,
actually
rumor,
said that?
rumor
No, it was in
only.
town. No, he said,
town.
I heard that.
I heard this is hearsay,
right.
folks.
Pretty good hearsay. But I heard that he went back and forth on how he could have lost my wife. And the only thing that they came up with is they're anti-Semites in,
Oh my
in
goodness!
Barnstead.
Seriously.
Okay,
Anti-Semites.
and
The
it's not that
anti-Semites
it's
in
not
Barnstead.
that it's not that his politics they do not agree with, right? Can't be that. It can never be the truth. We got to find. I mean, you see this all the time, right? Every time somebody loses,
Wait a minute.
you lose in a political race.
Anti-Semites in Barnstead?
You know what the funny part is, though? The funny part is Havenstein won in Barnstead.
Yeah.
How do you
and
figure that one
They
out?
just didn't know he was
Jewish?
Yeah, they didn't know.
You know what? If you did, I don't know
Havenstein,
whether he's German or Jewish, and it doesn't matter to me.
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah, it doesn't
But
at all.
I'm sure
Makes
if
no
you
difference.
were anti-Semite, his name
My
would be
salad.
enough to stay away
Well,
from
here's
it, right?
here's the thing. The similarity
That's
is
true,
something
because
we've
when
been
you're an
listening-
anti-Semite, you don't go with a lot of detail. You just...
That's right.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is the-
Stein, that's all they can think of.
This is the same thing that we've been listening for the last 6 years, 7 years now. Is that the reason why we all hate Obama is because he's black? They're constantly throwing the race card.
Half.
No, it's not because of his big ears either. It's his liberal, progressive
That's right.
policies.
right.
The progressives don't understand. The people on the left always want to say you hate him because of the color of her skin. Skin color doesn't matter at all. Oh, well, you're inherently
They
racist
don't
because you
believe
don't
that.
believe you can't be colorblind. You have to be racist to hate him.
No, listen, they don't believe that anyway. That goes back to our messaging thing that we were just talking about.
Hey, it was
Do you think they believe that? They just know it's a 5-word sentence because he's black, right? They're going to take that and
That's
they're going
3
to
words.
shove that. Well,
4 words.
you hate him or something. I don't know. But the thing is
Math
that's why they
engineers.
get the message out. They take this thing. Doesn't matter if it's true. It's got to have a few words, and they just keep shoving it down your throat, and pretty soon people swallow it. But don't mistakenly believe that they actually believe that.
No.
It's totally
They
thought it out.
Look what they did back. If I had to put a poster up in my room, it would be of Clarence Thomas, and it was the Democrats. The Democrats was destroying him back
absolutely.
in. I think it was
I remember it.
1991.
I remember it.
And how Dr. Phil said that the only thing I think I agree with that he's ever said that the American voter has ADD, and the American voter does forget a lot that the Democrats were going after Clarence Thomas,
Huge.
okay, because he was conservative.
Right, absolutely.
And they did not want a man of color, conservative, to get in there and
Because
mess
they
in their
felt the message.
playground.
That's right. They felt the message would be lost. They would be able to take that message. Talking of Glassman, just last week somebody told me that he was at an event, a Republican event with Sharon Carson. They were sitting at the same table, and they were taking the hatchet to me, evidently, and just wondering when I was going to go away. And that whole debacle when he was taking pictures of my husband's truck in front of my house in Alton, which he did 3 times, even though, he says all these other excuses. He's still talking to people about that and how I misrepresented that.
Because he's guilty.
And how
Because he's guilty. If you're guilty of something, you keep bringing it up. If there's nothing to it, right, you forget it tomorrow.
What the heck is that?
Are you sure that when they were talking about when you were going to go away, was Carlos in that conversation?
What do you mean? Oh, no. Oh, I see what you're saying. No. I can't, and I would love to be able to tell you who told me this, but and evidently Sharon Carson, who doesn't know me from a hole in a wall, I mean, I think I've said 3 words to her, certainly, was of the mindset that I was a persona non grata. But I mean, what the heck is that? It's because we get in the way of the message.
That's right.
And
We
they
get in the
don't
way of
want
them
it.
running.
Well, you make them take a. You bring their feet to the fire.
Yes.
Okay, this is the Republican platform. They want to just do what they do in Washington. They're down in Washington. It might as well be one of the moons of Saturn, really, because we have no idea what's going on down there.
Yeah.
Because you can't believe anything that comes out of there.
Well-
Okay, and then you have the little baby Washington up here, and they want to just get inside
Little
there,
baby.
and they want to stick it to the taxpayer.
Right.
Okay, they want to do a couple little things that'll help out the taxpayer so they're not totally lying when they go back to run for re-election. But at the end of the day, they do not want their feet to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's why the Democrat elected Speaker Jasper wants 20 folks to stand up. The person that calls for the roll call doesn't count. Okay, you need him plus 20.
I think you need to change that sentence.
Well, also, the sheet we sign? You can do the bill number.
Yeah.
It's just so, because a lot of times they'll go, roll call, and if you're not up in 4 seconds,
Right.
okay, not sufficient second.
Norelli
roll
did that a
call.
couple times,
Yes.
Les.
So you fill out a sheet, you
Quick
sign
demo.
it, and you hand that in ahead of time. Well, now he said that, well, in order for that sheet to be used, you have to be in your assigned seat.
What?
Yeah.
I
Can't
didn't
be in
know
the
that was
ante
part
room
of it.
anymore. You can't
Seriously?
Be in the ante room anymore. Yep.
What?
Yep.
What if you have to go to the bathroom or something? The fact that you filled out the sheet doesn't hold the roll call?
You're being your assigned seats.
You have to be in your assignment. All right, we're going to take a quick
Sounds
break.
like homeroom.
We'll be right back.
Oh,
This is the Coalition of New Hampshire Taxpayers. We're located at 8 North Main in Concord, New Hampshire. This is a repository for all things conservative and municipal. So if you have a problem in your town, your school, your budget committee, the right to know law, and now at the top of our list is voter fraud. You have a tip for us, some information for us, you want to join or help us out, cnht.org.
Hi, this is Rich Gerard, host of Gerard at Large in the Morning, the Manchester area's only locally owned, locally operated, focused, and interested, riveting radio show, heard live every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 on 90.7 FM WLMW, New Hampshire Family Radio, and available 24/7 live or archived at gerardatlarge.com. Be sure to tune in.
We are GrokTALK, brought to you by the Coalition of New Hampshire Taxpayers, green@grok.com, and everybody else. Hey, why exclude anybody, right? Hey, Mike.
So, quick follow on from the last segment.
Yeah.
So we know that that roll calls like to cockroaches and crosses to demons is something that the Democrats and the RINOs can't stand. And of course, the RINOs all tried to blame Bill O'Brien.
Oh, and New
for
Hampshire
wanting a
Republican
roll call
senators
vote.
don't like him either.
Mm.
No, for wanting a roll call vote on the speakership, which is interesting because all of us that actually care about the outcome wanted that roll call vote because we wanted to know who the turncoats were.
Right. And if you run for election like we do as state representatives, you're big boy now. Stand up and tell the people where you're voting. Don't hide behind a secret ballot. Secret ballots are great at the town hall or wherever you vote, okay?
That's for
it
the
is literally
citizens.
none of anybody's business. But when you are elected, when that process is over and the people have sent you to do their business, you should be man enough, or woman enough, to stand up and say who you want to be speaker or anything else. And they hide behind a little paper ballot.
It's like the rats legislating against rat poison.
Exactly.
Well, the Belknap County set a precedent in the New Hampshire Supreme Court a few years ago with Doug Lambert, Tom Tardif, who sued against for the right to know how their legislative appointees on the county convention voted for the new sheriff, who happens to be Wiggins, brought it all the way up to the court, pro se, and they won because the county convention at the time, Elida Millam was there. Have to throw that in. And they wanted a secret vote. And their reason for that was, well, we don't want to embarrass our friends that we didn't vote for them.
Right.
And no, the ruling was you are doing the people's business. You have to do a public vote on this position to fill the empty seat when Don Collis moved on to a private sector job. And I think the same thing in the legislature. We should, as citizens who do the votes, to put you guys into the seats, we need to know how you've done. Because too often, even the Republicans do it. They've called themselves this or that or whatever, and yet you look at their votes and you go, you're lying.
That's right.
You can't redefine the language, and that's why I'm stopping listening to the words. I'm only interested in the actions, and I think most voters should do the same thing. Don't listen to the words, only look at the actions.
Right. You know, and it's a beautiful thing when you go up there and do everything you say you're going to do, because I don't have to when I'm anywhere in town, I don't have to cross the street and get away from somebody that I told I was going to vote this way. Every way or whatever I've said I'm going to do, I've done. I've gone up and voted the Republican platform, liberty-minded conservatism, and, of course, the Constitution, and the taxpayers. With the unions representing the people they represent right now, if you did not have the legislature, the regular folks that are working non-union jobs would absolutely positively have no representation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have to say that I remember meeting you when Senator Forsyth was trying to get reelected again, and I
the
happened to
first
be
time.
standing next to you, and I did a walking interview with you
In Alton.
in the Alton 4th of July parade. And I've never forgotten that, because you are a shining example of one of the things that I've been saying this last election cycle, which is consistency breeds trust, yields votes. You have been absolutely consistent in how you voted. You are a person that I never have to wonder how you're going to vote, because you vote your principles, you vote your stated principles, and you stayed true to those principles. So, trust. Imagine that.
I don't have any
Jay,
singing choir
God,
of
my
angels.
wife is going to be so upset with you. You're growing. My ego's getting larger.
Oh, my
She's not
goodness.
going to let me come next week.
I know. Jane, I know, please.
Oh, my. I don't want to do it.
But you know what? It's so easy, too.
It is.
It is
But
so
you know,
easy. It's like,
It's not easy if you don't have principles.
But Republicans, I've been trying to get this message across. If you're consistent, you'll breed the trust of your voters, and you'll get the votes. But at the same time, I don't want to have to worry about how they're going to vote this
Right.
way, that way, or whatever.
Right.
With you, I don't have to worry. So you're a natural,
I
and
don't
that's all Republicans have to do to win.
yeah, but
Will
he's
this
rare.
work? Will this work?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, another thing I'd like to mention, too, is that Representatives Dan and Carol McGuire, Epsom,
Yep.
Pittsfield, Allenstown, they were with Bill O'Brien, and it was pleasant to see this past week that they were asked to chair, vice chair and chair. I think Dan vice chair one of the finance committees, which is a powerful spot, and Carol to chair her the committee she chaired about 2011 and 12, and they turned it down. True to their principles, they turned down the positions because they do not agree
see
with
that?
Democrat-elected Speaker. And that doesn't happen often.
No.
And the folks down at Epsom, Pittsfield, Allenstown, you should, when you see them or run into them, thank them for standing the ground
Yeah.
and looking out for you instead of their egos. And most of what, a lot of times with chairs and vice chairs, it's simple ego. I mean,
totally.
In New Hampshire, the committee chair doesn't have much power. There's no backroom deals. So you can be a regular rep out in committee and get just as much done as the chair and half the work.
That's right.
It
is true.
Because they have
true.
to schedule everything. They have
Right.
to make sure rooms are available.
They run the meeting.
And in New Hampshire, it's a wonderful thing. It really is. But the McGuires, they both turned it down. And I think they are the only two.
Say thank you to them for us, please.
They know how I feel about
No,
it.
but from us at
I will.
Granite Rock.
I will. And hopefully they're listening. I know they're pretty busy, but
Well, they're also two of the
it was a
smartest
good thing to
reps
see,
in
And of course, Big Al Baldessaro out of Londonderry, he ain't calming down anytime soon. I was hoping that I could bring him up here with me sometime.
Oh.
He could be my backup. I got to ask him first. I have to ask him first.
He is welcome. We've told him this. Anytime he wants to come in, we have a chair and a headset for him.
I will ask him, and then also I'd like to go from here one day up to Neil Young's show in Laconia, and we're going to spread the message that we have a Democrat-elected speaker, that please don't think this is politics as usual for 200 of us. Most Republicans go up there because they are concerned about the state of the state. They are concerned about the taxes, folks not being able to make ends meet, and we got derailed by an egotistical narcissist, out of Hudson, and backed by Ayotte. And the ironic thing about this Ayotte is Ayotte did not want Bill O'Brien because, oh my God, there's going to be turmoil and on and on and on.
What
So she's
business
trying
does she
to,
have?
but she's trying to squelch turmoil.
She got it
and what
worse.
she did, she made it worse. This is not going away. We are standing up for our principles. We're not spoilers. We're not babies. We are people who believe in the Republican platform that's been adopted at the convention. We are the ones for small government. We are the ones for small business. We're looking out for the taxpayers. We're looking out for liberty. Democratic Speaker Jasper, he doesn't even have a clue. He thinks principal is the person that's ahead of a school. Okay? and the ironic part about them is that they can't understand the new breed of conservatives that are running, the ones like myself and when Jane was there, and there's quite a few of us.
Glenn Aldrich.
Because we're standing on principles. And it took me a while to dawn on me that the reason why they can't figure us out is because they don't know what that is. They don't understand that feeling.
They're there to make deals and curry favor.
That's right. You know, that feeling of it's a financial hardship for a lot of us up there. You know, you get mileage, you get $100 a year. You get $179 after taxes and mileage, but you spend hundreds and hundreds of hours up there, okay? Which is fine. We agree to that. We're there because we want to try to make this place better, and most Republicans are. Jasper, Democrat elected speaker, along with Shurtleff, have given them so much ammo against us in 2016. That's one of the reasons why the Democrats went for this. They were salivating over this.
Absolutely.
They're going to kill us in 2016. The people of New Hampshire, the majority of the people of New Hampshire, sent the conservative message to Concord. And Jasper made all kinds of deals, unprecedented, crapping all over any principles or any precedents or House tradition. And his massive ego. He's Democrat elected speaker right now, and it's not going to work out well for him.
Flanagan's no better either, just so you know. The guy that he picked for majority leader.
I just want to speak to what you said.
That's not over yet. We got the House rules. The rules they made the other day now come to the floor for a vote.
Good.
I just want to tag off of what you had said about they don't understand the new brand of conservatism. Ted Cruz had a great line. He said, I've not come to Washington to follow the rules, but to change the rules. And he used an analogy. I'm their Uber to their taxi service. And if you're familiar with the controversy going on, and I think you're doing the same thing, it is folks like you who are coming in to say, there's a reason why we're doing this. I've been saying for a while, and again, another one of the memes I'm trying to get to move around here. Winning is only a precursor. It's what you do afterwards that's more important.
Absolutely.
You guys, you understand that you have to win. But to a lot of the, I'm a good Republican only because I've got an R next to my name, that's the only thing they care about. You guys, on the other hand, do understand what comes afterwards is the most important. And you're sitting down and saying, what is it that we're going to do to further our principles, not just because we're going to further the Republican Party. And that's what's got the RINOs and the establishment's panties all in a wad.
And
they don't get that.
That's got to be the meme, is principles over party, because that goes both ways. Both parties can agree with that, because that's an innate human
thing. I don't know. Both parties can agree with
that. Listen, I'm not willing to throw. I've known, and you said the same thing over there, that there are some Dems that aren't as bad as others.
But they still vote with the party.
They will. They will.
Anyway, we're out of time. Thank you so much for coming in. Coming up next, Joe DeLeo, and we'll be right back. This is GrokTALK. Stay tuned, please.
Senator Jeanne Shaheen said, if you like your current health plan, you can keep it. That's not true, Senator. 22,000 New Hampshire citizens have been kicked off their insurance plans. Hospitals in Rochester, Concord, and Portsmouth, they aren't allowed to provide care under the exchange. Senator, you were wrong in your comments. You should apologize for your misleading remarks. I'm calling Senator Shaheen at 750-3004 and telling her I want my doctor back. You should too.
Paid for by saberpac.org, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
We are struggling. Rising healthcare costs are part of the problem. Senator Jeanne Shaheen helped create this mess we're in. As a state senator, her bill chased 21 insurers out of our state. It reduced our choices, raised prices for New Hampshire families, and when Jeanne Shaheen supported Obamacare, it limited access to 10 of our 26 hospitals, reducing our choices again. Tell Jeanne Shaheen she's made healthcare worse. Few things are as important as finding the right doctor. And under Obamacare, that's harder than ever. Over a third of our hospitals no longer available. Our doctors no longer covered. Fewer choices, longer drives. No state has been harder hit than us. And even after watching it impact New Hampshire, Congresswoman Ann Custer still supports it. Call Ann Custer. Tell her Obamacare isn't working for New Hampshire.
This is a coalition of New Hampshire taxpayers. We're located at 8 North Main in Concord, New Hampshire. This is a repository for all things conservative and municipal. So if you have a problem in your town, your school, your budget committee, the Right to Know law, and now at the top of our list is voter fraud. You have a tip for us, some information for us, you want to join or help us out, cnht.org.